Hey, good morning, Robin. How are you? Welcome. I hope things are going well. I hope you are all well. Good morning, Sandra. Irene, good morning to you. Great to see you. David Chase, welcome, sir. Welcome. John Wells, good to see you, brother. It was fun seeing your shop the other day. I really appreciate the whole kind of creative aspect of what you're up to. Morning, Jamie. Good morning. Good morning. Hoo-hoo! Good morning, Kristen. How are you? Anna Faye Davis. Good morning. Hello, hello. Great to see everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Bob Guinan. Great to see you. I hope you are well. Cecile, good morning. Great to have you here. Susan, good to see you. Hope the Nacimiento clan is doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Gail, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Great to see everybody coming in. It is an encouragement. Thank you. Great to see you. Good to see you. Jim Pereira, Fall River Zone. Good morning, Yvette. Good to see you. Amanda from France is in the house. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. I hope you are keeping well on this, the 9th day of April, on this Thursday, on this Holy Thursday. And this is called Holy Thursday. It is, good afternoon, very nice. Good morning, good morning. This is Holy Thursday. We are in the midst of this Holy Week journey, and we come to this, perhaps outside of perhaps Easter Day and perhaps of maybe the Pentecost. This day is the high day. I think even more so in some ways than Good Friday and that or Christmas. That this is such a high day of Jesus' ministry in the world, Jesus' ministry to us, and our journey with God in this world. Good morning, Bonnie. Good morning, Donna. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, Priscilla. Great to see you. Amanda has already worked a full day here. All right. We are. So let's begin where we picked up yesterday. Yesterday we came, Jesus returned to Bethany and spent the day in Bethany with his friends. And in that had dinner with his friends and had that great anointing of the perfume by Mary. And comes to wake the next day. Again, still in Bethany. Hey, good morning, Rudy and Debbie. Great to see you. And that we come to Jesus sending out Peter and John. Jesus sends Peter and John out to go back into the city. Now remember, they're going back into that same road from Bethany to Jerusalem. They're passing the fig tree that has been withered, and that they go into back into the city, and they're going there to secure a place that they might have dinner, that they might keep the Passover feast. And so again, think about how much, we talked about it yesterday, but how much of this entire story centers around Jesus having dinner with his friends. That we begin, and we begin with the preparation for that. We begin for the preparation of the Passover feast. And so they are going in to find the place that they're going to do it, the place that we now know as the upper room. And so Jesus and the rest of the disciples will follow again on that same road past the same fig tree, and they will follow them into the city and go to the upper room, where they will end up gathering together. But before they begin to gather together, there is this thing that happens which was true with all of the Jewish rituals, that there would have to be opportunities for for washing. It was typical that you would wash your feet before you would enter. Think about a world where most everybody's wearing sandals. There's no how dirty and gritty feet get in the Holy Land as people are walking in a world that is largely does not wash anyway. The Jews are the exception in this case. And so, good morning, Linda. Great to see you. And so Jesus again takes this moment where he, as the head of the table, would be the one for whom they would wash his feet. He flips the script. He flips the table once again, the different table, and he begins to wash the disciples' feet. Now, this is a incredible moment of turning upside down this hierarchical world, this incredibly stratified world of what it was to be in the ancient world. That you were either citizen, you were either slave, you were either Jew, you were either Roman, wherever you fit on the ladder. You didn't come. There was no such thing as the idea of social climbing in the ancient world. You were born into a place, and you would live yourself in that place, and you would escape it. The moments we have the French are also sometimes questionable with washing. Then you can further appreciate this, that Jesus flips this script and washes his disciples' feet. And of course, you have the great moment of Peter kind of saying, if I need to be washed, if washing by you is my salvation, then wash all of me. And he says, nah, that's it. You're missing the point. And I say that to say this image of Jesus washing our feet. So if you think about your body and the way in which we're oriented, there's a sense where the feet are the things that touch the ground. The feet is our place in the world. Jesus, there's a way in which Jesus is foreshadowing a little bit of all of this incarnation stuff. We've talked about incarnation before, like when we talk about the carne asada, like meat, like our little meat bag. Well, this is again Jesus coming back to this notion of us of our feet being washed by him. This is a way of saying, friends, that whatever problems we have in our physical lives, Jesus is the one that's going to get them fixed. It's not us under our own power. It's not us under our own. Every addict understands this when they come to the first step in AA. They get the fact that they are powerless over their cravings, and they end up in this place where they must submit themselves to something higher than themselves in this moment. That there are things that are working for us to cleanse our physical, incarnated lives. And however isolated you are right now, however lost you might feel, however wondrous you're not, however much you're wondering about the world, understand right now that Jesus is still in the act of washing feet. Jesus is still in the act of incarnating. Jesus is still in the act of washing and fixing and correcting and making pure the lives that we're living in this world, no matter how much we think we're messing them up. Good morning, Andy. So glad you're here. So that's the first thing that happens even before dinner. And the dinner comes along, and Jesus, good morning, Shelby. Good morning, Gary. Great. So glad you're with us. That Jesus, then they go from dinner where they now had this just mind-blowing experience of having their master wash their feet. And they come and he says, I give to you a new commandment. This is what we're going to celebrate is Maundy Thursday, that this night is about the mandatum, the Latin mandate for the new commandment. And the real understanding of all of Christianity, it's my contention, others will fight with me on this, but I don't care, that it is my contention that all of Christianity is built on this phrase, this one right here. These lines from John are what the Christian walk is built on. The entire thing, all the rest of it is commentary. Not even, by the way, resurrection and conquering of death. That even is a part, because resurrection and death is something about our orthodoxy. It's about our right belief. It's about knowing that that we are in fact creatures that will live forever. Orthopraxy, the way in which right action our right conduct, the way we are to live into this world. That has been the thing that has transformed the world. That has been the thing that has differentiated Christians ever since they first were called Christians. Ever since they were first called people of the way. The way is this commandment that we'll get tonight. And that's what we'll celebrate when we celebrate Maundy Thursday. It is this pivotal, world-changing commandment, which is, and again, it seems so simple and so throwaway, and you may have heard it your entire life, but it is this, and this will be the piece that I'll read today. And when he'd gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God had been glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and will glorify him at once. Little children, I am here with you only a little longer. You will look for me. And as I said to the Jews, so now I say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. But I give to you a new commandment," and this is the mandatum part, "that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, and if you have love for one another." It is historically, it's what go forward and change the world. That Christians begin to act as a way to begin to model this way in which Jesus loved them. Again, it's not love one another as their neighbor loves you. Not a bad instruction. It's a good idea. But this notion of loving as Jesus loved, that loving through us in the way that we're called to change the world, that we're called to be useful in the world, that we're called to be ourselves in the world. That is a whole other thing. And so they have this meal, and they gather together, and at that point they end up. This is a big day, and it's a long day. It's one of the most active days and well documented days. Every chapter in every of the four Gospels contains part of this story. That they're all that, and it's rare that all four Gospels are pointing towards a particular event. It tells you how important this was to be recorded and to be held on to. So they have this dinner, and at the end they do what? They sing a hymn. Now what they would sing is probably a hymn from one of the Psalms, and they would rise and they'd probably genuflect, or they might dance. You know, this is one of the things. You can have images of, I bet in your Sunday school world, you got images of Jesus doing all kinds of things. Maybe laughing, maybe crying, maybe being with people, maybe being intense, maybe being that smoky good looks that Jesus had, like whatever it was that we imagined. But how many images are there of Jesus dancing? And as they would dance, they would dance together, and they would put hands on their shoulders, and they would do this great circle dance that many Middle Eastern cultures still do today. That they would sing this great and this powerful hymn of ascension, this powerful hymn that would be about going into the temple, and then from there they left and they went to Gethsemane. That this moment of dancing and revelry and joy goes to this point. Dance like Sufis. Yes! The Sufis come much later, but think about the Sufis go in pursuit of a static state. The Jews were doing the same ecstatic state stuff. There's a whole lot there. Wow, that'll get me so down a rabbit hole, Chris. Okay, so they go out and they come back to they go to the Garden of Gethsemane. Hey, Audrey, good morning. And in Gethsemane, they end up being in this place where Jesus begins to pray. And Jesus prays and prays and knows what is coming. After he had dinner with his friends, offered them bread and wine, washed their feet, sang and danced with them. And the arrest is about to come that morning in a few hours, but there they are praying. And Jesus prays so hard. Jesus is anxious to such a level that he literally sweats blood. Now this is a thing. This is an actual thing. People do this. You can look it up. That this hematosis, teosis, sorry, that it is this action. That what happens is there's so much anxiety in the body and there's so much stress in the body that the capillaries in your blood actually break into the sweat glands, and you end up leaking blood because literally your epidermis can't contain what is within you. Your skin can't contain what's within you. There is so much power, so much energy, so much anxiety. And it is that great prayer, Lord, if this is your will, I will do it. But take this cup, but please take this cup from me. This incredibly human moment of Jesus where he sweats blood. And it is shortly after that, in the evening hours, that Judas comes to him and kisses him as greeting, and he is arrested and taken away. And he's taken, by the way, to the house of Caiaphas. Now remember, in Palm Sunday was the high priest Caiaphas who picks out the perfect lamb. It is Caiaphas that selects the perfect lamb of the thousands of lambs that will be slaughtered and puts it over his shoulders and enters through the sheep's gate, just as Jesus entered through the sheep's gate, and carries the perfect lamb that will be the atoning sacrifice for Israel in that season. And here Jesus is taken and arrested and taken where? Of all the places. I mean, that one report says there's an entire Roman legion that shows up. Okay, 700 guys, or not a legion, but a cohort. 700 men show up to this arrest. Okay, 700 Roman soldiers are there just to make sure there's no trouble. And again, it's like 3 a.m. It's late, or it's way into the evening, and it's not quite 3 a.m. yet, but it's late in the evening. But they are so afraid of the crowd that they arrest him in the middle of the night in the garden, in this opportunity, in secret, and they take him not to the prison because the crowds will riot if he's in the prison. They take him to the house of the high priest who carried the Paschal lamb in but few days before, and will take the knife to the throat of the Paschal lamb the next day as the sacrifice on the altar, and will do the same to Jesus a few hours, almost nearly at the same moment, in crucifixion tomorrow. You see, none of this is accident. None of this has fallen its way into, but it is this ritual dismantling of blood sacrifice, of saying that life is not worth anything, of saying life is something that we as people can and do manipulate over. It is actually that life is sacred, and so sacred that we will not spill its blood, because its sovereignty and our sovereignty as human beings are come as incarnated individuals in this world. It's such a radical departure of anything we've seen before. And they arrest him, and Peter is accused 3 times. 3 times Jesus is accused. Aren't you one of those Jesus follower guys? Nope, not me. And Peter weeps. Peter weeps. Peter falls out of relationship with Jesus. And yet we find he will be restored later. So don't worry, he'll be okay. But there is this way in which even the closest to us, even the one who is closest to Jesus, even the one that is closest to God, falls away and breaks relationship and is restored. So if you are finding yourself falling away and breaking relationship, you too will be restored. That's the promise. That's the work of this Jesus guy. So friends, we are in this. We find ourselves in this time of the cock crowing 3 times. That this moment, that what that means is that a lot of people think that was the rooster, but actually the cock crowing 3 times was the announcement at the garrison that they had a trumpet that would sound every hour through the night, and on the 3rd hour of the day that the trumpet would sound, and it was called the cock crow, and it was so essentially at 3 a.m. This power time of despair, that Peter weeps the loss of Jesus, who was arrested in Caiaphas's house. So we will pick up the story at that point tomorrow, where we will find ourselves on the way to the hardest of days, to what we call Good Friday. We'll talk about why it's called Good Friday on the day that anybody ends up being sacrificed in a most grisly way. But why is that, and why do we in the Christian walk call that good? We'll talk about that tomorrow. But today we come to this we come to this incredible intimacy with Jesus, who has come to wash our feet, who's come to sit and dine and rejoice with us, who has come to reconcile us when we fall away, and has come to be the one who is incarnate goodness in this world, so that we might know some of that goodness too. All right, friends, this is a heavy day, and it's a big day. We are worshiping tonight. We will have our Maundy, Thursday service, so it is on Zoom. There will be email invitations going out. If you need an email invitation, just put a comment in the just leave us a note in the Facebook page messenger. Just send us a message with your email. We'll make sure you get an invite to the Zoom room tonight. We invite you. We are going to take communion. So if you have a piece of bread or a cracker or something like that, or fruit of the vine or water that you want to partake with us, we will do that. We will gather together. We may not be together, but we are gathered. So it is my hope that you'll join us tonight on Zoom, and that you will continue to walk through this Holy Week, as unique and as wild and as weird as it is, but that you will help to keep your time and your household sacred with us. All right, friends, have a great day. I will check in with you on the chat here. It is so great to see everyone with us. All right, peace and grace.